Talk about 5 things I wish my younger self knew. When we're turning into young adults, 21 and up, what do we really know? What have we been taught? And do we really look at our future? Well, I was that young girl, 21, with a child. I was married, and all I thought about was me and my husband and my child. That was it. I didn't think about a career. I definitely didn't think about retirement. But all that I had was what I had, which was my husband and my child, and that was my world. I didn't think about maybe I should go to school. I didn't think about my future. I really didn't, other than, being married and having my child. And I worked little part time jobs and temp services. One of the things I definitely regret not knowing is not to change myself to fit somebody else's image of me. I was always known as the good girl, and that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be that good girl. So I my husband at the time, he was in the service, and I never ever went out. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. I stayed at home with my son while he was out at sea. I didn't go to clubs. I didn't go party. I didn't do the typical things that a young person would do. I was like an old married woman. Even my mother-in-law, she would tell me, you need to get out of the house. And the only time I would go somewhere is if I went with my mother-in-law or if I went with my mother. That's the type of life I had as a young adult. But the way I grew up, it was get married, have children, live life that way. It was never being a single person or anything like that. It was always being married with children. So my future, I never looked at it as just me. And I was always trying to fit into somebody else's image of what they thought I was. And I never really looked at who I was. So don't let anybody try and change you. Don't let anybody put you in a box to try and make you somebody that you're not. I wish that was something I knew younger, where I could just be myself. And the second thing is, don't think that you can find happiness in someone else. And I thought my happiness came from my husband and my child. Seeing them happy made me happy. And other than that, I didn't know what made me happy. I was so caught up and focused on that I thought that was my happiness. I didn't look into myself to say what makes Charlene happy. What makes me happy outside of these two people? And when you're young, you don't. At least I didn't. Some young people, they got it together. Me, I didn't. I was such a sheltered child that I didn't know anything really outside of my house. Um, yeah, so I always looked for somebody else to make me happy. You know, if they kissed and hugged and talked to me, that made me happy. That let me know that I was loved. I didn't know how to love myself. And the third thing I wish I had known is that nobody can take care of you better than you can take care of you. I was looking for a man, a husband, to take care of me, and never thought that I need to be taking care of myself, even though I raised 2 kids, pretty much by myself. And I was taking care of them. I made sure they had everything I could give them that kids would want: a house, clothes, shelter, schooling. And, I got them in sports and or not opera. chorus or whatever. They did things, and I was so proud of that, you know. But I didn't know how to take care of myself. I didn't think about my future. And as I got in my 30s, I was divorced. And I still didn't know how to take care of myself because I was still, now I'm looking for another husband. And I just didn't know myself without being attached to someone. And that's so sad, but that's what happened. And number four would be that if I had learned to be alone, and that shows power. To be alone is powerful. It's not a sign of weakness to be alone. It's not a sign of shame to be unattached to someone or to be single. It's not a sign of weakness. Power comes from being alone and knowing who you are. That's where you get your power from. It's not being attached to someone else. You weren't born attached to someone. But see, I didn't know that because, you know, being raised as a child of older parents, the only thing they thought was you were supposed to get married, and that was that. And so that stayed in my mind for a long time. And these are just some of the things I wish as a younger woman I had known. And number 5 would be, no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. And I always thought, you know, life would be so much better if I was married. Life would be so much better if I had someone to share my life with. I would be financially stable. And I didn't look at me making myself financially stable, just me alone. I thought I had to have a partner for that. So I messed up a lot of stuff as a young adult because I didn't know any better. But now that I know better, I'm 63, and it's just like, wow, I wish I had had someone to talk to me about life outside of marriage, outside of a relationship, life as a person, life as a single person, learning to love yourself. Before you can love anybody else, you have to learn to love yourself. And that was my problem. I didn't know how to love myself. It was like I was bipolar. Even in high school, I was in both cliques. I was in the good clique, I was in the bad clique. I hung out with kids who got all A's. Then I'd hang out with the kids who skipped school, smoked cigarettes, smoked marijuana. And I didn't know where I fit in at. And it's followed me for a long time. And even as an adult, I sometimes didn't know where I fit in. And so now I know where I fit in. I fit in my skin perfectly. And I love who I am. And I just wish I had known things sooner than later. But I hope this resonated with some of you guys, and you can look at yourself and say, wow, I wish I had, or maybe some people, young people watching this, and they can say, you know what, let me look at myself. Let me learn to love me and think about my future. And that was my problem. I never thought about my future. So you guys take care of yourselves. I love you so much. You guys are my dear friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Mwah. Bye-bye.